you for giving us the opportunity to ask you the questions. It's really good of you. Thank you. So firstly, can you tell us a little bit about your role and also your interest in digital inclusion and technology?
Yeah. So my role at the City Council is official title Strategic Director for Service Reform. And what that means is that I have responsibility for all of what I call our enabling services. So things like workforce and finance and legal, comms, digital. I'm trying to think policy, strategy. I don't want to miss anyone out. And for me, they're all the real important services that support everything, to be honest. So if our services weren't there, then the council wouldn't function. And I guess I've been really interested in digital, probably closer involvement the last 5 years or so when I started with the council's transformation programme, because it was about making sure that the council and its services were fit for purpose and were very much kind of customer driven. And as we know, more and more expectations now are for that online offer. So that's my job, and that's how it started. Yeah.
Brilliant. So how do you feel about Salford being the first local authority to support the Tech She Can Charter?
Yeah, so I was really thrilled when I found out that Salford was the first, and I think at the moment still the only local authority signed up to support Tech She Can. I hadn't realised that. So yeah, absolutely delighted really. And in some respects though, not surprised. I think Salford is often the first local authority to do something, or the only local authority to do something. And that's something I've really been proud of in terms of my teams, is that they've always been dead keen and really ambitious for Salford and our services to make sure that we are right out in the front there and leading the way. So yeah, absolutely delighted to hear that it was the same for Tech She Can.
Yeah, I agree totally. So why do you think it's important that we promote opportunities for women in technology?
So I think it's important that we're promoting opportunities for everybody in terms of our tech jobs. But then it's always another, I guess, real passion of mine has been about our equality and access of opportunity. So two things really. The digital sector itself is a huge growth sector. So, you know, there's lots of statistics flying around at the moment about the number of jobs that are going to be available and the skills shortage gap. So, you know, we know that at the moment there aren't enough people to fill all the jobs that are currently there, and that's only going to continue to increase as more and more organisations switch to online. And we've seen with the pandemic, haven't we, a very quick acceleration of that shift. So look at the changes on the high street. You know, more and more have switched to an online rather than a retail offer. So it's only going to grow. And what we needed to be sure was that in Salford we don't get left behind as a city council, so that we're able to still offer real high quality digital services to our directorates, but also to the good people of Salford in terms of accessing our customer services. So there's no doubt that in terms of doing that, what we've got to do is make sure that we're providing those opportunities to the widest possible sections of the community. So certainly if you look at stats for the digital sector, it is a very, very much a male dominated industry. So particularly looking to make sure that we're widening that and encouraging more women into the sector. But it's also about the skills that women will bring. So I think that, you know, women will look at what the offer is from a very different customer perspective. I think that they will bring different skills in terms of around creativity, for instance, but also you know, I want to make sure that all our young people in the city can see this as a real career opportunity for them as well, and that's got to be available to everybody. So yeah, really keen to do that.
Yeah, thank you. So what do you think we can do as an organisation to ensure that women can be inspired to have a role in technology?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, if you think about all of the jobs that are available in digital, it is in absolutely every single sector now. And, you know, for young people entering the jobs market, you know, will they think of their local council necessarily as a place that's got a great digital service, but B, well, you know, is it going to be boring working in a council's digital team? You know, what kind of things are you going to be doing? So I absolutely think that what we need to do is make sure that we're out there and we're showcasing all of the fantastic opportunities, and that it's actually a really exciting place to be in a digital team. And again, we've seen that, you know, our in-house team, the way that they've responded to the pandemic, they created apps, you know, on a weekly basis at one point. And I think it's the freedom for them to be able to do that, the support that they get in the kind of an organisation like a city council, the training opportunities, I suppose also being able to access into the broader community of digital in Salford. So we've got fantastic Media City sat on our doorstep. So again, you know, how do we make sure that people joining Salford as an organisation get access to the broader city opportunities as well? So that'll be things like going into schools, talking to young people, making sure that we're at careers events, and obviously the Digital Everyone website itself. That's got a fantastic area, hasn't it, about working in the sector? How do you get into the sector? What's available for me? What training's available? So, you know, the launch of the website was a brilliant opportunity to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. There is exciting times ahead with it, isn't there? Definitely.
Yeah.
So, what training and support is available for women who want to take up a technology role in Salford?
Yeah, so I think there's a number of things really, and it starts at all kinds of different stages. So if you think about Salford as the city, obviously we've got our online centres now. We're doing a lot of the basic digital skills, so the introduction to digital, and obviously things like our free computers that we've got across the city, and of course again the digital inclusion website, really good introduction. And then of course we've got the next stage of that. So pretty much every job you do now, I think the statistic is over 90% now of all jobs have some aspect of digital to them. And if you think even about our refuse collectors, you know, we have in-cab technology now. So you know, who'd have thought it? But you know, emptying bins has a digital aspect to it as well. So I think there's something there about making sure that there's training that supports those aspects. And then when you think again about, you know, Media City, huge big tech employees that we've got based in and around. So that's the kind of the likes of the BBC, Talk, Raytheon, all offering entry-level jobs and providing support to then grow in those roles. And then of course the final part of that is our adult education pathways. So Salford College, Salford University, both offering those opportunities. We've got a future skills campus actually right in the heart of Media City. Salford University, of course, have full and part-time courses, but they've got a really exciting offer that they're developing that acts as a bridge between college and university. So if you're still a bit undecided about whether you want to go full out for a degree, they're offering between level 5 and level 7 courses. So I just think there's a huge pipeline of opportunities available for people, no matter at what bit of the journey that they're finding themselves on.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, definitely. Do you think it's important for women to have a background in technology to join Salford Council's digital team?
No, 100% not really. I mean, it will of course depend on what the job is. So you know, and the you know the level that's required. But what we're really keen to do is to say, look, you know, it's not just about the technical ability. There's a whole host of other skills that accompany that. I think as long as people, women, come to us with a willingness to learn and the willingness to kind of, make the very most of all the opportunities that are available, then absolutely I would want to talk to them. And I think what we're keen to do is link with Host, which is Salford's home of skills and technology, based again right in the heart of Media City, and to work with them, because we're creating boot camps. So that first kind of very intense, it's not easy, but a very intense kind of introduction to things, whether that's coding boot camps or whether it's cybersecurity, but then to take that initial interest and that initial passion, and to be able to supplement that with then a jobs-based training program. So I 100% would say no. Don't worry too much about that. And I think in the MEN article, I talked there about my own daughter. So she did exactly that. She did an English literature degree at university, qualified from that, came out, and then was looking at opportunities in the jobs market, and did exactly that. Really, did a coding boot camp, and then has got herself a job with a really supportive employer who are kind of now continuing that training for her as she goes through. So great example of for others to do the same.
Yeah, that's a really good example of that. It's brilliant. So how, as an organisation, can we ensure that we are communicating the right messages to girls and women to support them to get into the technology industry?
Yeah, so that's a good question, Liz, and a big answer to it, really. So I think, again, it starts with our relationship with schools, so as an early age as possible, and that's where, again, Host come into that, so that we're keen for them to kind of get into kind of year 10 age school children, to get them connected. But I think there's something as well. I've been talking to the council's HR team, and they've been telling me about the great work they're doing to make sure that our recruitment processes are friendly. So how do we make sure that when we advertise a job, it's making sure that it's using language that's open and welcoming and friendly, and doesn't kind of list, here's all the very technical things that you already need to have. I think it's about encouraging, don't worry about not having the whole set of skills already in place, that if you've got other experiences or that willingness to learn, still put your application in. We still want to talk to you. I think it's just about making sure that we are advertising in the right places. Role models is another great example of that. So women that are already working in the industry. So the input that Ashwini has done for us, I think she's a great example of someone who's already working and has done for some time, and what their experiences has been. So yeah, it's a whole host of things. And look, we don't pretend that we've got all the answers either. So if there's things that young girls, women out there are listening to and think, it would be great if only you did this, then just let us know. Really keen to take feedback from people who are thinking about it as a career route.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, last question. What different initiatives has Salford got to enable more women to access roles in the technology industry?
Yeah, so again, we're trying to think as widely as we can. So clearly, the Tech She Can pledge was a good starting point for us. And what we want to do now is work across Salford with the other big employers, the anchor institutions like Salford Royal Foundation Trust, the university, the BBC, to also encourage them to join that movement and make their own pledges. I keep mentioning Host, but it's such an important aspect for us. So Host ran a programme, it started, I think it was just after Christmas, called Freelance Her 100. And what that was doing was taking women who, for whatever reason, and a lot had been affected by the pandemic, where they'd lost their jobs quite quickly, but were turning to set up their own micro businesses and become freelance professionals. So that's enabled them to have access to weekly workshops, peer-to-peer mentoring with some of the UK's most prominent women business leaders. That's just growing from strength to strength, to be honest. And I know the waiting list is growing in terms of all the women who want to take part in that. We just launched Skill City as part of our host offer. So there's commitments in there to fast track, I think it's about 450 technology career starts every year for women and from members of our ethnic minority communities, which is really giving us a really unique, I guess, digital skills powerhouse to transform that diversity of talent in our tech sector, by particularly addressing barriers that underrepresented groups have been facing. So really excited about those host programs coming to life. And then the other thing is that we've been as creative as we can be through our apprenticeship levy. So there's a Salford Skills for Business apprenticeship fund, which means that organisations like Salford Council and other public sector and private sector can gift some of their apprenticeship levy, so that we make sure that it gets fully committed, but that we're particularly growing our skills base across the city rather than just in terms of each individual employer. So if you're a small or a medium-sized organisation in Salford, you want to develop your business and unlock that new talent, then please have a look at the criteria for that scheme and make sure that you're applying for that extra support. So we're trying, as I say, to come at it from all angles, really. And I have to say, getting great support from that neighbourhood and community that we've got in the city. So we're incredibly lucky to have that base sat right here on our doorstep.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, thank you so much for Let's Ask Questions. You can tell how passionate you are about your job.
Oh, thank you.
And I honestly think that you would be a great inspiration for any women who wants to get into this role. Just your passion and everything you've done is just brilliant. So.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really interesting talking to you. Thank you so much.